Thanks, guys. Are we at the point yet where, what's the annual, cost to us? Is it helping us out? Is it at the point where we've been through it long enough, we understand it, we can do it ourselves? The coaching part, kinda walk me through that just a little bit. I mean, I was more in favor because I know what the basis of it is. I just kinda wonder if, you know, you get to a point where you should be self-sustaining then too, I would think, unless there's value that's coming that we don't see.
Unfortunately, due to staff turnover, I think we continue to need the support of the company. But what you're talking about is the goal. This would be, I believe, the first year it wasn't paid out of the grant. It would be, I think, the only year it was actually paid out of corporation money. But hopefully, with staff retention, get all the new staff trained next year, and then we'll be able to move forward like you just described.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Of course, I also wanted to make the point that it meets our requirement for a SEL program. So if we did move on to something different, we would would still be a training cost,
Okay,
probably similar or even more.
okay, thank you. So there's more to it than just, believe it or not, it's fulfilling some other.
The social emotional learning part is required by the state.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, the motion is for the annual membership and the coaching for $11,495 for the Leader in Me. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Delphi Community Middle School, Character Strong, $699, Title IV. I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
How is this different from Leader in Me?
When we came to the start of the, I think the start of last year, talking with staff and also our counselor, Ms. Gaynor, we started to see that the age difference that's more appropriate for Leader and Me compared to, we had it up here before I was here, but started to see that age gap, it wasn't doing the things that we saw were issues here at the middle school. It wasn't addressing those issues. It was doing a great job in Leader and Me of getting that core, I think it's the core 7, I'm not too specific on it, of getting those bases into those little ones as they come up, but as they got to us, but we were seeing a lot more social and emotional learning deficiencies with those students, such as how you deal with friendships, relationships down the line, and things that happen at the middle school that don't happen down there with it. So it's the same concept of that, that's geared more towards that secondary age of student.
Any other questions? And hearing none, all in favor of the Character Strong for the $699 for the SEL lessons for the renewal, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item G, Delphi Community School Corporation Integrity Network Solutions, $12,507 from the Operations Fund for Software Subscriptions line. This is a light speed filter, 1 year. I have no idea what I just asked for, but I need a motion.
Yep.
A motion and a second. I hope somebody can tell us what this is.
That would be nice.
Oh, there it is.
Me back here.
You're hidden.
Yeah, this is basically just a renewal. We've had Lightspeed as our web filtering for almost 15 years now, probably maybe more. So it's just another 1 year renewal is what this is. So just a
It
subscription.
keeps the bad stuff out.
Huh?
It keeps the bad stuff out, is what the light speed filter is, it's not filtering light speed.
Right, yeah, so it's definitely not light speed either, it's just, but it does filter the bad stuff out.
Does that mean we're less susceptible to getting struck by lightning then?
Unfortunately, it's not a lightning issue.
We proved that this year.
Mother Nature overrides light speed, I hate to say it.
With the changing in technology and all the advances, we've now used that for a while. Is there better products out there we should be considering at this point, or is that still one of the top?
There's other ones coming along. I've reached out, I haven't, what's the word I'm looking for? I looked at a couple of them last year, 2 years ago, but they were brand new, just coming up. So, watching the forums and stuff, I think a lot of people are starting to switch away from them, but, we just, over spring break, the last couple weeks ago, I actually took our physical device off the network, and now we're strictly on a cloud-based, their newer solution. So that's what we've been kind of working on, in the tech department for the last couple days. We've had some issues with filtering now, because of the changes, but
And
yeah,
the
so we're
chance
kind of,
the new ones are gonna be less expensive now that we have competition?
possibility, yes, more and more enter the market, yes, you'll see some competition. Capitalism will take over.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that passes. Item H, board approval to dispose of an asset, auxiliary bus A10. Need a motion.
Mr. President, I approve to dispose of asset of the auxiliary bus A10 as required by the state.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. A motion and a second. Discussion.
I think I read that, aren't they just gonna take the engine out and scrap the bus?
And we're gonna use it
In
for
the
diesel
past.
class.
In the past, didn't we sell them or offer for sale?
It's
We have.
pretty rusted out.
This one's not.
Yeah, it's not in good shape.
The intention is to be able to donate that to the class. Is that the right word?
Yes, we're gonna give it to the diesel mechanics class.
So they'll have a product to work on. And for what we get out of those, that's a cheap investment in the class. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed? Passes. Item I, cybersecurity policy, coalition for $9,225. Any motion? Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
So this will go up to $500,000 limit, supplement, regulatory defense. So if we get locked out and somebody wants $500,000, this probably isn't gonna pay that, right?
Don't give people ideas.
Oh, but in reality, that's all right.
Does this require that you have backups? This insurance, some cybersecurities require like a checklist of items that you have
Oh,
to have?
yeah, we have to go through this
Yeah.
checklist every year,
Okay.
the things that we're doing.
Oh, yeah, it says cyber solution.
Yeah. I mean, here's the entire policy. It's required by our insurance company that we have, which is smart.
This is an annual policy.
Yes,
That's the same company we've been doing this.
yes, we just started last year, it was our first year.
Is that an increase in the cost?
A little bit, we have to look, it wasn't, I had budgeted more, so I think I did a 15% increase and it was less than what I had budgeted.
Hearing none, all in favor of the renewal for the cybersecurity policy, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries. Item J, this is the behavioral, it's MTSS.
It's a multi-tiered system of support.
Thank you. And the RTI support for the 23-24 school year, for encompassing education, that is $30,000 through ESSER 3, and this would be at the elementary school, I believe.
Correct.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you. A motion and a second. Let's have discussion.
Let me, can I give some background? on
Please
that?
do.
So, last year in the elementary, we used, this company to do the academic RTI, and start looking at how are we collecting data and really aligning, because we had students that were on, let's just say, remediation plans for several years. So, it went very well. Jill worked with her. So now, we're actually taking that RTI program and it's going to transfer into the middle school this year for the academic piece. So now we're gonna look at the behavioral RTI down at the elementary, and then we'll carry that up. It's important because we kind of had a gap, but I feel like we're really trying to align programs and make sure we're meeting the needs of the kids. So, and ESSER's about to be gone, so we need to take care of this stuff now.
Questions?
So this is a continuation from last year?
We did academic last year, and they're actually, it's gonna move up to the middle school, now we're doing the behavioral. And basically, we're having a lot of students being referred for behavioral RTI. So this is gonna do this end, not the academic, but the behavioral end.
Okay. Are there steps after this then, or,
Yeah, well, it's
so
gonna
it
be
will go right on up the chain?
more, that's our goal. So we're using the same plan going up.
Okay.
this is the same company that we're, using for some of our, new hirees training we've used in the past, right?
Yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the $30,000 expenditure for the behavioral MTSS RTI support for 23 and 24 school year, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item K is the diesel contract. We want the amount with the. That's what
All right, we have a bid here from, Co-Alliance for our diesel contract. This is for a year contract, or two, sorry, to 2025, right? Or, yeah. The amounts, on here is for number one, diesel, float price, will be at, $3.43.20. Diesel two float price is $2.9191, we'll just go that one. And premium diesel float price at 2.9641, which is normally used in, for wintertime. This was plus or minus for about 35,000 gallons of usage. Do we have a price if it overgoes? That's the only thing I didn't see, if we overgo those amounts. Let me go ahead and go through with it, and it's in loads of 7,500 gallons. Is what the contract says.
Thank you.
That's what-
Second? Yeah, I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second, but I will not try to repeat. Discussion.
Well, they have to our maximum, it goes to spot market.
Yeah, I would think so. The other part, how big is our tanks? Do we know? Okay.
I do not know.
Because they're 7,500, so it's probably one full
We gotta get the truck loaded.
yeah, that's what I mean, how low we gotta get before.
It's probably 3,000 gallon tank. Use 15 and
That's why I
get
want to get two loads in, to be safe. Because if you have to have something under that 7,500,
Yeah,
there's a
that
surcharge.
Yeah,
Still, a good price, it seems to be at this point in time.
Save lots of answers.
That's fine.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor of the diesel contract as presented, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item L is the move of 2 kindergarten classrooms, and Ms. Manere, you wanna speak on that one?
Well, I am not sure of what the whole thing is about, so could you let me, or one of you, tell me exactly what's going to happen?
Yeah, fair enough.
Or whatever's proposed.
So, I think we'll probably cover that through the, discussion, but if we don't, I'll allow you to ask that question.
Okay.
That'd be okay?
Sure.
Alrighty, so if I could get a motion on the floor to move the 2 kindergarten classrooms from Camden to, DCES. Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion, and perhaps it starts with, a little more of the backstory then.
You'll probably understand.
Oh, okay.
She loves me when I do this.
We started this process because our special education resources were spread very thin. We have a teacher out at Camden that has 5 students on her caseload and 2 elementary teachers that are up to about 23 on their caseloads. We also need to expand a little bit in terms of our services and what we're offering. When we think about least restrictive environment and what kids can access, some kids do need a more restrictive environment where they can learn more essential skills for independent living later on. So in order to create that class and maximize our resources with how many occupational therapy minutes we were spending driving back and forth, speech therapy minutes that we were losing with driving back and forth, and our developmental preschool teacher has some time in the afternoons that she could be supporting some of our elementary students too. So we started looking at that, and then we wanted to also look at our smaller people being on the bus for a very long time from the furthest side of the county from Camden. And that had been a discussion since I started 2 years ago. So when we were looking at all those, we proposed to bring our special education students all to, not all of them, but to DCS and centralize that service area, and then move 2 kindergarten classes to support that and to alleviate some of their transportation needs. Do you have any questions?
Yes, have questions?
Yeah, I do. I know we've talked a lot about, why we should, and on that part, and it's something that, I don't disagree with by any means. The part, I guess, I'm a little bit, at this point is still because, we don't have, as soon as this gets released tomorrow, we're gonna hear through the paper, through everybody else, where's my kid goes, where's the lines at, where's all this, bus-wise, who's here and there. I think we should have a little more information. I mean, this isn't something that we've been talking about in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been going on for a little while, the conversation. And so, with that being said, we don't have that full data yet, and I understand it's a work in progress, but yeah, there ought to be a little more teeth into it in my book at this point. The concept, I'm not arguing about that part, but, there are some other logistical issues and stuff like that tomorrow I'm gonna get a phone call and I'm gonna say, okay, if I want my kid to go one place versus the other, what's gonna happen? Okay, I know we said, well, you may have to take them there, but is that reality? Because if one fills up versus the other, you know, again, we need to have that more, distinct, this is the way it's gonna be type thing. In my book, I'll just put it that way. With this being said, what we're basically doing is, taking our special ed, like you said, we have to, or need to take 2 of our kindergarten classes, which we have 6. We're gonna keep the classes to a 20 and under, like that's what the board's desire was, that's why we have 6 kindergarten classes. That is not gonna change. And so, that's the things I haven't really heard yet, but that's the way the board is, because that's why we've developed 6 classes and have spent money to do that, right? Being more efficient with our special ed, I definitely think that's a great thing that we need to do to help. So just keep that in mind, as we go forward on some of the stuff. We'd like to have a little bit more solid, here's kind of the thing we really think it's gonna be, and not just kind of generality type stuff.
We are waiting for the kindergarten roundup data. That will give us very specific information so that then we know what students we have coming in general.
Well, I understand that, but still, there's past data, you kind of know where that data should be able to pull it up from where the kids are, not kind of historically it's coming from, so.
We'll probably end up with preferred geographical areas.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll kind of be in gel for a while to fill everything in.
Well, and here's the piece that we need to really be aware of. I meant for an hour and a half of transportation. And if we're trying to alleviate the problem of the hour and a half, little people on the bus, it may look different, because we've gotta remember our buses are here. And so, that's gonna be a logistical discussion as well, so.
And that's the point, right? To that, your point right there is, you know, where's that gonna be? And, that conversation is not necessarily based on how many kids we're gonna have roundup, but it's kind of by geographic to start with, and then you tweak it to if you need more over one spot versus the other. And so, you know, they used to do it. They used to have the kids, and I mean, they drop the elementary off over there, bring the middle school here, and it was all done by a geographic type thing to achieve that. But I do applaud you guys for not wanting now to bring kids from basically Deer Creek all the way over here and then take them all the way back. And the same goes at the evening. I mean, those kids, it isn't the kids that come here to go over there, it's ones over there. And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do, is to give them that extra half hour of actually class time. Right?
Okay, can I speak?
Yeah,
Okay.
please, thank you.
So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kay Binier, and I taught at Camden in the same classroom for 30-plus years. And my question is, okay, so you take the preschool special ed and move it over to Delphi, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm trying to understand why you would move 2 kindergarten classes over there too.
All special education, all students need to have access to general education.
Right.
And we talked about the transportation issue as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So why take 40 kindergarten kids over to the elementary? I'm not following you.
Well, some of them, it was to shorten their bus ride, and then the special education students need to be able to go into a general education kindergarten classroom.
Okay.
That varies depending on their individual plan, but they need to have access to go into a general education class.
Okay. Well, in the day, I'm a dinosaur, but the special education teacher came to Camden for half a day. So, I mean, I don't know. Have you been to Camden? Okay. I am amazed at what has happened. I left in 2014 and then worked with West Lafayette Special Needs. So the teachers plan everything together. the kids form friendships and bonds as kindergarten students. I'm just not sure that's a good idea.
Pam, just to kind of add something too.
Okay.
You remember we separated from Majestic.
Yes,
So
Right.
we are having to meet the needs of all the students. So, for example, we're gonna have to create a life skills
Right.
program.
I understand that, yeah.
And so that life skill program before was being serviced through Majestic.
Right.
So those kids were being driven,
Right.
transported. So
Okay.
see, we now have absorbed,
Mhm.
we basically have an entire special ed department now
Okay.
that no longer has Majestic to support us.
Okay.
So that's a huge piece that
Right,
now we
okay.
don't have special education resources
Okay.
to send somebody over for half a day.
Right.
Tell me if I'm speaking incorrectly, but we
No,
just
that's
don't
correct.
have, we
And-
don't have the staff, and we've gotta have a life skills.
So are you then putting these special ed kids in teaching?
No, it's not just a kindergarten problem, it's actually a corporation, it's actually a pre-K through 5 problem. Because
Okay.
we're separating our resources, so we're trying to get all of our resources into one building, because we just don't have enough. With that life skills room, we're gonna need 2 teachers and instructional aides there. So a lot of this is stemmed from the separation with Jesse, that we don't have kids that are going to these programs, these specialized programs. So that life skills room is gonna be, from K to 5. The high school had to add a life skills this year, middle school and high school. So we're having to add these programs. So that's really causing our special ed department to be, bogged down, and so, we've got, and it's hard to find special ed teachers.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, you're licensed, we can.
But I don't understand why you're moving 2 kindergartens. I understand the preschool special ed. Okay, but,
Well, we don't wanna put, that's not fair to teachers, either one, if, we have to move at least one. We don't want that teacher to be solo playing.
right, I
Okay,
understand
and
that.
then we also want to split up our students, so that we're
Absolutely.
so we thought that was fair, to make sure that we've got 2, so that they've got help planning together, and it's not isolation, we've got other kindergartners that can interact, and we can then make sure that we are dividing up students equally, so it's just not one teacher gets
Right,
all of
I
them.
understand
Yeah,
that.
it's no different, Pam, than what we're currently doing. Our special ed is in with general ed kindergarten. They are in there,
Right,
right? So in order to service them better,
Mhm.
they're wanting to take them over there. In order to do that, we have to have classes for them to be able to be in also, right? And so that's why they're doing it.
Otherwise-
The laws has changed.
Otherwise, we'd have to transport them back over to Camden then to implement
Back
it
and
into
forth, back and
general
forth, and that's
education
not
class.
good for them.
So
Okay.
that'd be,
okay,
Yeah, laws has changed a lot since.
right. Okay,
You had asked or mentioned the number of students, I believe, I think you said 40. We're probably talking about a lower number because the 2 classrooms are probably closer to that 30-ish mark, depending on
It depends on,
enrollment.
We're at 17 now.
So, yeah.
depends on.
so how are you gonna determine, because I can hear parents right now going, what, yeah,
That's what we were talking about, we've gotta
Okay.
look, that's exactly what Mr. Schwarzkopf was mentioning.
okay,
Because we've gotta look at the kindergarten roundup, we've gotta
Right.
look at the kids who have to be over at the elementary. And do the services, and then we're gonna have to look at transportation, that's gonna be the biggie. Before, when we were separated, we had 5 buses, according to Mr. Strebeck, that only service Camden. They were picking up the kids everywhere and bringing, that's what he told me, I asked him twice. So, when we ran into issues with funding and we ran into issues with bus drivers, that's when this whole new lovely plan of kids being on a bus from there.
right,
So,
which was not good.
so, we're gonna
Um,
have to look at what's gonna be the most conducive way, so that Camden can be on the same time as the elementary.
well, they do need more time. They do, they need more time to teach.
I think you should explain too that the pre-K, we're gonna advertise it, but there may not be a pre-K class here.
there's enough in life.
And I think there is a great need for that situation, because daycares are very expensive and people do not have, the resources to do that. So, how many are in the special ed department now at the elementary?
About,
No, I mean as far as teachers, I'm sorry.
oh, there are 2 teachers
Two
at the
teachers, you've got
elementary.
special speech and hearing, right?
Yes, and she splits her time between Camden and the elementary.
Okay, okay.
And then we have a part-time occupational therapist who also splits her time,
Mhm.
and a part-time physical therapist that
Okay.
splits her time.
Okay, okay. And how many
And all
did we
those
have?
were with Jesse and Clayton.
Right, yeah, I remember, yeah. How many did we have before we had some people leave? Did we have any more or any less? Or?
I don't understand that. Do you mean,
Well, I know Carla Moat went to Twin
Oh.
Lakes. Okay, so are we at the same level of teachers? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
so we're splitting those resources.
Okay. All right, well, it is what it
Thank you
is.
for the question.
Yeah, it is what it is, yeah.
Board, any other discussions, questions?
I got a letter, it says here, I have 3 administrators that think this is the best education for students. I'm inclined to support my administrators on this. They're a lot closer to it than I am.
Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor of the move of 2 kindergarten classrooms from Camden to DCES for the following school year, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you, motion passes. Okay, item M is Sharp School Services. This is to purchase, additional desks at the middle school for $6,875 out of operations. Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Vice President, I move to purchase from Sharp School Services, student desk for $6,875 out of the operations.
Thank you. And Steve, did you second that? Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Discussion? How many desks were we purchasing? 25, thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the purchase of the 25 desks for $6,875 for the middle school from Sharp School Services, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. All right, next is Chromebooks. We've got 2 items here, 2 bids here, sorry. So let me start with get a motion to put this on the floor.
Mr. President, I move to purchase Chromebooks from Rowing IT Solution for $52,120, which is the recommended. And that it consists of 180 student Chromebooks for $36,900, 25 teacher Chromebooks for $8,250, and Google Chrome 1-year license for $6,970 over brand.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Gear, would you like to add anything to the?
Yeah, I was hoping for a third quote. I reached out to 3 companies, did not hear back from a third, so I reached out to a 4th company mid of last week, and he, as of Friday morning, said, I'll have it for you soon. He's waiting back to get some pays for pricing. But they're all 3 quotes are gonna be the same exact products, it's just pricing is only different. So recommendation would be Rolling, obviously, because they are lower. And I'll say $205 per device, that's actually not bad.
And that is the same product?
Yes, yeah, all 3, yeah, both quotes are identical, the model number and everything. So,
Where's the majority of those folks going to?
so 2nd grade and 9th grade will be this year. We have some left over from we bought with ESSER funds from last year that are identical to this as well. that will give the sixth graders, but since they're a year old already, they're good for at least 4 years. Sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, they'll have them to take up their fourth year. So by the time they're a freshman, they'll get new ones again, freshman year. So this was covered second and nine. And of course, the 25 are for staff as well. They have some staff machines with them to show signs of wear and tear. With bags, backpacks, car rides.
Scott, why are the Google Chrome licenses different prices? Is it just they're doing us a deal, or?
More than likely, the one vendor here does lower more, so I think they like our business for some reason. So they do seem to keep beat out to my preferred vendor, the other one, but I'm not gonna list price. The preferred vendor agrees with that as well, he understands. That's his former company, so that's probably why. Yeah. Yeah, and those licenses are for the life of the, they're not 1 year, but they're for the life of the device.
Okay,
So you buy one license per device and you purchase it, goes for the life of the
add
device.
1 year down here as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is for the life of the device.
It's a life, not 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of purchase of Chromebooks as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item is carpet for the buildings. We have 3 recommendations, and I'll let somebody put that into the motion.
First of all, what time will this be coming out of?
This coming, yeah, this is coming out of the bond.
The 2021
Yes, sorry, I apologize.
What are we talking about?
carpet?
The carpet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. President, or acting president. Purchase, from, it looks like Crave, floor covering is all 3 of them, but for the high school, $41,468, for the middle school, $28,053, and creative floor coverings for $46,618.
Thank you.
At the elementary.
Camden will have to do
Got a motion, second, thank you. Discussion?
So is this part of our getting back into our maintenance type thing, or is this replacing some shoddy carpeting?
No, we're trying to
This
get
is
in.
our rotation of,
Because we did not have a rotation.
like we used
for
to
quite a
have,
while.
it at Christmas.
So I told the custodial staff they need to get into a carpet replacement. And one of these is actually, I know you're attached to it, but the carpet in the elementary cafeteria is going to be replaced, so wood flooring. After the wait, the summer with the snow on the carpet, so.
That's where it's moved.
Yeah, exactly.
So the carpet will be out of the elementary school
Out of the
cafeteria?
cafeteria.
It's gonna make it noisy, really.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Walls. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the purchase of the carpeting as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, yeah, agenda item 7, we've got several current field trips. The high school youth summit attendees, grades 6 through 12 at Camp Tecumseh, for the Carroll County Youth Summit is April the 13th. Middle school entertainers will go to Purdue University for a choral festival. Delphi Elementary, 2nd grade, will go to the Floral Park building for Earth Day activities on April 20th. The FFA will go to McCaig Dairy for judging contest on April 20th. FFA will be at Hendricks County Fairgrounds for the FFA horse judging contest on May the 6th. FFA will be going to Clinton County Fairgrounds for poultry judging on May the 13th. Delphi Middle School 6th grade Riley Park, Mitchell's Dairy Queen as part of their rewards for Millions Word Readers. That's May the 15th or May the 16th. Middle school bands are going to Indiana Beach for a band performance on May the 19th. High school FFA, Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds for FFA State Livestock Judging, May the 20th. FFA to the Whitley County Fairgrounds for FFA State Dairy Judging on June the 7th. And middle school, a little ahead here, for Camp Tecumseh, to Experience Foundations for Success, their outdoor education program is will be in October 17th and 18th this fall. We do have 2 internal transfers to note. Tracy Rush will be moving from the high school cafeteria from, change in hours, my apologies. She'll be adding a half hour to her day. And Mrs. Biegler, sadly enough, is going to move from the high school to elementary. Mr. Hawk's thrilled. Future dates and agenda items. April 13th, we have the mobile dentist at the elementary, the spring play at the elementary. On the 14th, we have the middle school spring dance and the ISSMA contest at the high school. What is ISSMA? Oh, the ensemble. Thank you. Kindergarten roundup, April 26th and 27th. Prom is April 29th from 8 to 10:30 at Duncan Hall in Lafayette. The DCES Art Show, May the 4th, 4:30 to 6. May the 8th, we'll have a work session at 6 o'clock at here in the library, the Abbey Libby Library. May the 8th, we'll have a regular board meeting and followed by an executive session at 8 o'clock. You did it. Okay, board comments. Mr. Nipple, would you like to start?
I'd just like to thank everyone for attending the meeting tonight. I know there's still a lot of work to do as far as moving the 2 classes from Camden to Delphi, but I do understand now what the reason is to incorporate the special ed kids into the general education class. They just can't do a whole class or be by themselves all day long, so I understand the education part of it. It's just the logistics is what's really got me concerned, so hopefully once we get that ironed out, we'll be all right. So thank once again everyone for attending tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Meyer?
Hope everybody had a good spring break. I would like to thank Mr. Long for being on top of the safety committee. Seems like he's doing a really good job with that. As long as we can keep the board informed of those activities, I think we're in good shape, and look forward to moving forward with a good safety plan for our schools. Good luck to all our spring sports as they get going on their season. Good luck to all seniors as they've only got a few weeks left. I heard great things about this. A former student and current NFL player came back to 2 of our schools.
Really?
Coy Kronk, and I heard that was a very good program, and I wish I would have known about it, because I tried to stop by. But it's really good that he's doing things like that in his former community. I'm sure the kids enjoyed the heck out of that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Priest?
I'd like to thank all of our guests for showing up tonight. I appreciate the comments. I was glad to see we were able to squirrel a little bit of money into the rainy day fund. That's something I like. I'd like to, not only spring sports students, but we got a lot of FFA activities coming up. I'd like to wish all them boys and girls good luck. I thank this circle for our work on the YOLO policy. I'm sure that's exciting to do. Gil did a nice job for a long night. He spent a lot of money. And like Steve said, I'd like to thank Jody Burns for getting Coy Kronk in here for this week. was really special to me because he gave my grandson an autographed football, and he's already got his football.
Thank you. Mr. Schwarzkopf.
Alright, again, I wanna thank everybody for coming, particularly the public. It's always great, when we can get the numbers out like here, whether you're for or against something, at least to come and be able to hear and voice your opinion. As far as the Camden thing, I voted no, I understand that, not everybody else. It's not that I'm not in favor of it, I am, I've always said that, I just, kinda like Mr. Nipple, there's some things I'd like to have a little bit more information on. The board has went to great extents over the last 8 years of getting the information in front of us instead of behind us, to make that decision, so, that's why I did that. I know we're gonna work the things out. You know, we did it before, when they had K-5 over there and brought the middle schools here, so it's kind of the reverse maybe, but, I know we'll get that worked out. Special thanks to some people that sit on our board here, some achievements, and, I think it's probably one of our highest CNA classes probably, that is done. So, I appreciate our teachers that will help our students make that next step into our society. And so, good luck in using it and becoming a nurse, right? And a nurse practitioner, maybe beyond that. So, with that, again, welcome back from spring break, and be safe out there.
Mr. Strasser.
Yes, as usual, I will echo my fellow board members' comments. Kurt took all my time.
I'm trying to think what's the deal.
So, but yeah, I do appreciate everybody being here. I do appreciate everybody that's an employee at the school and all they do as well.
I do also want to thank everybody that's in attendance tonight, particularly our staff as we go into the end of the school year. It's always a fun time, lots of activities that get crammed into these last, not even 60 days, into our seniors. Will we see you next time? You guys do that? Yeah, so we get one more time to see you up front. Yeah, thanks again. Again, FFA, lots of activities coming up. It's exciting to see how much they're involved with. Wish them luck and all that. And also, echoing Mr. Meyer, spring sports. We've got some teams that are already off and doing some great things, and we're excited to see how far they'll go this year. So with that, I would entertain one more. Oh, sorry, girls, ladies. My bad.
Thanks for having us. Glad to be back at school for spring break. Last 9 weeks, so it's almost over. So it's exciting. Sports are going well, and hope for a good experience. Thank you.
Miss Abbott.
I don't play spring sport, but I'm glad spring sports are back and going because I like going to them. And Evan and I are planning to move back to a little bit. So just excited for.
That's great. Thank you. Need a motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I haven't seen, I knew you guys got those from me, but I haven't seen them yet. Yeah.